1,000 simultaneous suns arising in the sky might equal that great radiance. With that great glory amazement entered him. His hair rose up, he bowed his head, he humbly lifted folded hands and worshipped God. And then he said, "Death am I, and my present task, destruction." Picture yourself with an ultimate choice to create a game-changing invention which will be able to end the war, silence your enemies and make you famous, but also have a risk to become uncontrollable, used with bad intention and kill the whole humanity. What would you choose? Enter the world of Robert Oppenheimer, a genius who stood on such crossroad. Today we will be talking about philosophical aspects of his life and decisions. Watch this video till the end and you will be able to understand Oppenheimer in cinemas. Probably you still won't be able to recognize Cillian Murphy's accent, but at least you will understand the decisions of main character. Outside this Second World War, Nazi Germany's rapid occupation of neighbor countries raised concerns about the potential of Nazis to develop advanced weaponry to expand its territory further. In response to concerns about Nazi Germany's nuclear capabilities, the United States is adding urgency to the research efforts, the culminations of which becomes the Manhattan Project, aimed to develop the world's first atomic bomb. The project was entrusted to Robert Oppenheimer. By the time the Manhattan Project was full in swing, the Second World War was drawn into a close. However, the geopolitical landscape had shifted, and the United States and the Soviet Union emerged as two superpowers with conflicting ideologies. Began the stage of the Cold War, characterized by intense competition and arms race. And as we all know, competition makes progress. Furthermore, Japan continued to resist Allied forces. The prospect of a full-scale invasion of Japan continued to further urgence of development a game-changing power. The Manhattan Project turned out to be successful, and on August 6 and 9, 1945, the United States made a difficult decision to use atomic bomb on civilians. The cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were targeted. Coming back to initial question, was such a decision right or wrong? And is there any place in our world for such inventions? At first, let's find out why exactly to Robert Oppenheimer this project was entrusted. Already as a child, Robert possessed exceptional academic skills. He was a so-called prodigy, and he pursued higher education in prestigious universities like Harvard University and University of Göttingen in Germany. He was interested not only in physics and mathematics, but also in linguistics. He learned languages, he liked poetry and philosophy. And from my side, I can surely call Oppenheimer a philosopher. As I said in my previous videos, philosophers are thinkers, and they are curious about different aspects of our reality. And the same as Oppenheimer, his explorations were not only confined into the realm of science alone, but he went beyond and was preoccupied with some questions of morality and ethics. Okay, but why did he turn into philosophy? My answer is to create his own system of values. Developing weapon is not an easy task. Every day he faced difficult questions, and here philosophy is a kind of consolation for him. Very important, it would be wrong to perceive philosophy, in particular Hinduism, as a kind of motivation, inspiration for his actions. More probably he would continue doing what he have done in any way. But the mind needs some kind of justifications for his actions and a kind of inner peace. And also, after the usage of atom bomb, Oppenheimer had to answer why question to the whole world. But first thing first, he had to answer this question to himself. And so he did. Now his quote from Bhagavad Gita became famous. I am the death, destroyer of the world. And now I want to mention one of the biggest problems for Oppenheimer and for this video itself. Just imagine, now I will try from my Western perspective to interpret the quote of Western scientists about Eastern philosophy. I think we should define from the beginning that a lot of aspects was just thrown from the broad background and context of very, very big story and part of religious. But let's just try at least to build some parallel. The Bhagavad Gita, also referred as a Gita, is a sacred Hindu scripture that hold a big significance in the Indian religions. Gita tells a story about the dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna on the battlefield. Arjuna is about to engage in a war against his own relatives. Arjuna is overcome with doubt and despair, and he questions the morality of fighting and killing his own kin. But the god Krishna responds by teaching Arjuna how to act in accordance with his duty of a warrior and as a human being. In Hinduism, there is a term Dharma, which stands for duty or law. Arjuna was a warrior, and his duty to continue battle. Oppenheimer was a scientist, and his duty was to conduct the project. And probably here we can suggest that Dharma was a kind of a way to share the responsibility, because soldiers do not question the decision of the general to kill the enemies, right? And here is very important to note a kind of separation of the dharmas. Yes, it was a scientist dharma to conduct the project and to create the atomic bomb, but he believes that it was a dharma of a statesman to decide whether to use it or not. In later years, Oppenheimer would define himself as the following: I did my job, which was the job I was supposed to do. I was not in a policy-making position at Los Alamos. I would have done anything that I was asked to do. Here some might criticize his statement because he just shifted all responsibility into the government side. But on that point, let's just continue looking closer to his philosophy. If there is no way for people to dictate the results of their actions, what should be the attitude to such results? The Bhagavad Gita gave some simple answer: detachment. Resigning interested tasks, the wise call resignations. Renouncing every fruit of work, the name renunciation. Here is suggested that scientists shouldn't attempt to take responsibility for the fruits of their work. This expression has some specific meaning in Hindu philosophy and means results of their actions. And what truly matters is our intentions. In Gita, it's stated that even if your action seems bad and evil, it's all right to make them if they are guided by pure heart and good intentions. And here we can conduct some justification. It's plausible that Oppenheimer was led by good intentions to save some people, to save some nations, and following this principle, he should have been detached to the very random consequences of his actions. And the same, killing people is immoral, killing friends and relatives is even worse, but for Arjuna to kill his friends and relatives was permissible because he does it out of love of Krishna and because of his duty, not because he pursued some pleasure or profit. There is also the fourth basic argument in Gita: death is an illusion, because even though the body perishes, the soul is eternal. But Oppenheimer didn't seem to pay much attention to such argument. Still, he didn't believe that death of people from Hiroshima and Nagasaki was just an illusion. But we still can observe some kind of belief in predetermination and some common fate. Let's recall the context. It's a time of war, and soldiers, scientists, probably he believes that it's not their decision to kill people, and it's a decision of some greater power, decision of God. But what we can see after the Hiroshima and Nagasaki tragedy? Here probably well known the concept of karma, the law of cause and effect, has become more and more crucial. Oppenheimer's scientific interest forever tied him into the consequence of such invention. But in the face of this new reality, we can observe that Oppenheimer's position has shifted. He engaged himself with policymakers and influencers to promote peace and disarmament measures. He promoted the idea that atomic power should be limited and that countries should reject from it. We can just suggest that probably Gita gave him one more wisdom of moksha, the liberation from the burden of guilt and remorse. As Arjuna, who found the clarity among the chaos of battlefield, Oppenheimer could find his real dharma, to use this science for promoting unity and peace. He also promoted the idea that the science should become more transparent. It should become more open to society, to people, to make research, to enhance knowledge and share with everyone. He also quoted Evgeny Rostov: "Man is free to love, to live, and to know." Everything about his future views could be said with one quote. I would go only so far, that is to say that in all those instances in which the West, notably my own country, has expressed the view that there was no harm in using these super weapons, provided only that they were used against an antagonist who had done something wrong, we have been in error, and that our lack of scruple, which grew historically out of the strategic campaigns of the Second World War, the total character of that war, and the numbing and indifference of which responsible people like Mr. Stimson complained bitterly, that has been a great disservice to the cause of freedom and of free men. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was interesting to look deeper into the ideas of the actions and to compare it with the consequences we have now. So please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because I want to make more videos like that and to improve myself, and leave some comments below. See you!